are the Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday night, and we're inching closer and closer and closer to Christmas. I can't believe it. It's so close now, less than a week away, 6 days away. So we are here, as always, on a Sunday night to talk about the week that was in wrestling. This is our wrestling wrap-up show, and as always, with me tonight is my co-host, Jeff. Jeff, what's going on, man? I heard you had a fun time yesterday, which I'm going to have you talk about first, I think, in the show.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of fun. For whatever reason, I'm like exhausted today. I took a nap this afternoon and I never recovered from it. But you know, I'm excited to talk about some stuff tonight. Especially if people didn't get a chance to see last night, and we'll talk about that first. But if people didn't get a chance to see it, just take a few minutes and go check some of it out because it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to see some pictures. I scrolled through Impact's Twitter. So when I was at work today, I got to see some pictures, and it looked absolutely hilarious. So I'm definitely going to check it out. And I'm probably tonight, I'm going to check it out. Of course, Jeff, I know there's a football game going on with your team tonight.
Yeah.
My Cowboys.
If people see me look over here, I'm just keeping tabs on the score.
Yeah, my Cowboys jumped up to the 3 seed. I was kind of hoping Baltimore would upset Green Bay, but it didn't happen. They went for 2 and they didn't get it. So I was kind of hoping for that to happen, but we're up to the 3 seed now, so we'll see. Defense is playing really well. So, big one tonight, the Saints and the Bucks. That's always usually a good game, even if the Saints aren't that good. They always end up playing them really well, so it should be a good game. It wasn't a huge wrestling week, but there were some things that were really, really big that happened in two different promotions during the course of this week. So we'll get to a lot of that. So of course, we'll do sell or no sell. We'll see if we've got any grievances to air. We will talk about that kind of stuff, and we'll do all that stuff. Book a wrestler, of course, favorite moments of the week, and then we end the night with some lighter side of the ring. So, all right, let me welcome some people in, and then I'll just get to our schedule and what we're going to be doing upcoming, because again, it is the holiday week, so we'll let you all know what we're doing this week. We've got Chad, what's up? Jeff and Joe. Well, Tazzie's in the chat there, Chad. Just us two tonight. Was it good, Chad? Yes, very, 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 very good. Yeah, it's probably, I've seen every Marvel film, and I've seen all of the old ones and stuff like that, and I would probably say it's probably my number one Spider-Man film now, right up there maybe with Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. And Marvel films, it's got to be maybe top 3, top 4. It was excellent. Yeah, it was excellent. If you get a chance, go see it. It's killing box office numbers. I think it's like 3rd all time now. I moved ahead of Force Awakens for opening. And it's gonna listen. It's just got with all the people being off from school and all that kind of stuff, and they're gonna kill it. So it was fantastic. It really was. I hope you go to a theater. They were a little dead in my theater last night, and they reacted and stuff like that. But I kind of wished I would have got to a couple of the earlier shows when people didn't start to see it, because it would have been, I think, a little bit louder. But yeah, definitely go see it. Definitely go see it. It's really, really good. A lot of emotional ups and downs. And the coolest thing about it, I guess, is the ending left you not knowing what they're going to do, not knowing where it's going to go. You just don't know. And I like that because it's not predictable at all. I kind of have an idea because I'm an avid reader of Spider-Man since I was a kid. I had to go back and read some of the 60s books. I went back and started 70s books, rather, which I read growing up. And I had to go back and read some of them to kind of get an idea as to maybe what's going to happen. But yeah, it was great. It was great. Tazzy, it's an insider's party, baby. Yes. Hey, James Chadwick, how are you? Hi, Misty. How are you doing? Chad. Yes, I said hello to Chad. James Grant. What's up, James? Dana. Roman Reigns. Well, we'll get to talking about Roman Reigns, actually, very soon. Did I catch them? No, I didn't have a chance to watch it, Jason, because I got home late last night. I talked to Tazzy and Jeff for a little bit, and then I pretty much crashed because I was up working all day, and then I went right from work right to the theater, and so yeah, I was beat. I went right to bed, so I just saw a couple pictures from it today. Hey, Big Dan, what's going on? They accepted my application to Jelly School for my Spider-Man envy. Well, I'm sure Dan, you'll get to go see it. It's awesome. It was really awesome. Last night was wild, says James. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Like I said, I from what Tazzy and Jeff told me, I'm gonna have to check it out for sure, and I probably will check some of it out tonight before I go to bed, and then maybe the second half tomorrow. Hey, Jen Carter, how are you? Hey, Graham, how are you doing? Dana Jones. Jeff's favorite football team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are playing right now as we speak. Let me see if I missed anybody else. Derek, hey Derek, how are you? Yeah, it was really good, Derek. Hello, Mark. Last night was hilarious. Hey, Chad. Jeff, did you check out C's video about Bray Wyatt, his return? Yeah, there's little things maybe out there happening, going on, maybe. We'll see. You know, everybody's always talking about where Bray may end up, and it's going to continue to be a topic until he does what he's going to do or comes out and talks about it, and maybe on that Cult of Wyndham thing. We'll see. We will see. Hey, Alicia, how are you? Brandon Barnes, what's up, Brandon? There is Erase Your Mind. I believe that's Butters. Hello, Butterspark. How are you? We've got me too. If Buccaneers win today, they will be number one contenders, and yeah, they'll be the 2 seed. They're still behind Green Bay, but they'll still be the 2 seed, I believe. Acknowledge the tribal chief, says James. All right, so there you go. All right, what we've got coming up. So you all know today's Sunday, of course. We'll let you know what's going to happen tomorrow. I know Jody's had some work things going on. Of course, Jeff will keep me posted, and I'll keep you posted about what's going on with Abby's tomorrow. Of course, nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday. Thursday, we will do Impact. So we will be here. We are aware it's just a best of show. So obviously it probably won't be a lot of wrestling. They're just going to show some matches that happened in pay-per-views, probably like they did last year. They'll have you vote, you know, they might give out some awards for Wrestlers of the Year. They did that last year too. So probably be very similar to that. So we'll do that. Being that it is going to be that kind of a show, we won't have after the Impact after that. We'll start that again when we get into pay-per-view season, because that's when we talk about it more as to what's going toward the pay-per-view. So we won't do after the Impact after that show. We'll just have the regular show and we'll get out. And then what do we got? Well, then it's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day. Now, next Sunday, we will not do this show next Sunday, simply because it's a Christmas weekend. People are going to be celebrating with family. You know, you've got the whole weekend. You got Christmas Eve, Friday, Christmas Day, Saturday, and Christmas. And it's so a weekend off. A lot of people have the weekend off for Christmas. So we will take a break, and you guys spend time with your families. We will do the same. Some of us will be working. I will be right back to the store following Christmas. So I'm right back to work the next day. But yeah, we're going to take that off, and then we'll start fresh again the following week. Monday, again, we'll talk about what's going to happen with Abby's and where we're going with that. And if that will be taking place, we'll let you know. So just keep an eye out on the socials. And so, yeah, that's our schedule going forward. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, keep voting. The Survey Monkey thing is still out there on our Twitter. If you have not voted for our year-end awards, please do. We have had probably 3 times the amount of votes we have ever gotten up to this point before. So thank you to all who have. If you haven't, the link is up on Instagram. It's up on Facebook, on our Facebook group. It's also up on Twitter. So if you haven't done that yet, go and do it, please. And yeah, that show is coming up. So that will be in January. We've got 2 big pay-per-views. We got day 1, We've got Impact's pay-per-view, and then we have the Zicky Dice, actually 3, the Zicky Dice show that we'll be doing. And then after that, when that all kind of calms down, we'll do the awards show on that following Sunday. So that's coming up, and that will be, whoever wants to join. If Tazzy wants to come in, if Jody wants to come in and join us, they are most certainly welcome to do so. Wow. And then, so that's our plan of attack for moving forward. So, all right, let's get started. I voted 5 times. That's swaying the vote. If we see more bird puppets around in the back, I don't know about the bird puppet. I think the bird could have just been there. I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if that's a puppet or if it was just a bird. You go in back of these. Remember, these things happen in the back of stadiums. So the hallways in the backs of the stadiums that they use, that's not always their equipment that's back there. A lot of it is just stuff that's laying. I know, because when I saw the show that happened where I was, that SmackDown recently, and they were in the back, there's a whole bunch of crap that was in the back room back there that was stuff that was not WWE stuff, because I've seen the inside of that back room before. It was all a bunch of stuff that was for the team, that the Penguins that play there and all that other kind of stuff. So that just, I don't know if I'd go too big on that stuff that's back there. I don't know if that's something. Who knows? Maybe it is. I don't know. I think the back room stuff could be weird. What a busy January. Yeah, Royal Rumble is the end of January too. I know, it's crazy. 2 WWE pay-per-views 1 month. Less than 3 weeks to Hard to Kill. Yes, Hard to Kill is going to be a huge show. So obviously we'll have that. We'll have day 1. We'll have the Rumble. We have a lot to do in January. Hey Shane, how are you? New Year's Evil. Yeah, dude. It's crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on in the new year. Obviously, we had a New Year's show last year, Jeff, of course, with Josh Alexander and Jade. So instead, this year we'll be doing a pay-per-view on New Year's Day. So crazy stuff. Yep. All right, Jeff's going to start us out because I obviously wasn't here last night, and our topic of discussion that we're going to start the show with is the pay-per-view last night. Yes, Throwback Throwdown. I couldn't make it. I really wanted to. It sucked that they coincided on things that I was doing, because I really wanted to see this. I knew I would love it, and after seeing the pictures from it, I'm sure I will. So I'm excited to see it, and it looked like a great time. Impact has a great way of doing fun stuff. Just like they did with Wrestle House too, Jeff. So it's all yours, dude. Again, I can't speak to it. So all yours, man. Go at it.
Yeah, so this was a lot of fun. A lot of it was fun. That's all you can really say about it. Nothing too serious. I mean, whenever you had some of the gimmicks that you had, Trey Miguel as Bill Ding, and he was a construction worker. Rhino as Frank the Butcher, who had a tracheotomy mid-show and came back out later on and helped Ima Bell, who was Deonna Purrazzo. Honestly, it was just a great night. It was fun. And I said this last night on the stream. I really needed a night like this. I really needed some fun like this. So if you just like old school gimmicks and kind of cheesy gimmicks, cheesy promos, it was tremendous. And James Chadwick summed it up the best. It's a mix between Wrestle House and Talking Shop. That's what it was last night. It was just a great mixture of that. Sex Ferguson and Santa Claus stole the show.
Speaking of which,
Santa riding sex. As Stryker said last night, talking about Sex Ferguson. Some of the commentary makes it gold. So, I know a lot of times we get on commentary, especially with Impact. Sometimes I know a lot of people have things to say about Impact's commentary. Josh Matthews, Matt Stryker were great last night. They made it fun. Some of the things that they said, they were talking about music videos, and is something like that ever going to catch on? That's not going to be a real thing one day, because it's set in 1984. So, it was just a fun time. And, if you were here last night, thank you for joining us because we all just had a blast. Tazzy and I had a blast. And it was a lot of fun, Joe.
That's awesome. And like Jeff said, it's you kind of, like he said, you kind of need that stuff, and Impact's good for doing that. And it was the thing for me with Wrestle House. I absolutely loved it, and I love what they did there. And it just goes to show you that their wrestlers are not opposed to doing things that are primarily just for fans. A fun thing, of course. No, there's no pressure. It's not part of any of the storylines that are currently going on. It doesn't have anything to do with any of that. It's not really about any kind of championships or any belts or anything at all either. So it's just kind of fun stuff. And yeah, we all said we missed Talking Shop this year because we kind of thought we were getting another one. But, I know that those guys did that probably mostly because of the COVID thing too. So who knows? We may never see another one of those. I hope we do. But they kind of mixed a lot of that in here, it seems like. So it's great to see, and I love that part of Impact, that they do this kind of thing and just let guys cut loose a little bit and let people just have fun. It just seems like, from what Jeff said, from what Tazzy told me last night, that it was a lot of fun to see. So I'm glad to hear it, and I'm looking forward to watching it. So, and again, with the throwback stuff, I saw some of the backstage pictures where they had cases upon cases of Pabst Blue Ribbon. I was like, if that's not a throwback show, I don't know what is. No one probably drinks Pabst Blue Ribbon anymore. And if they do, they're probably as stuck in the 80s as I am. It's great to see and funny stuff. So I'm pretty excited to go and watch it. So I definitely will check it out tonight and probably tomorrow. So it's pretty exciting. All right. Well, there you go. It was a mix of Wrestle House and Talking Shop. I mentioned to both of Jeff and Tazzy that I wish you would have been there. I was right up. Yeah, I know, Mark. And I knew it would be. I mean, the fact that I'm a big 80s nut, I knew it would be right in my wheelhouse. And unfortunately, yeah. But again, I'm definitely going to watch it. And I will, I'll let Jeff know and Tazzy know, of course, what I thought of it. But I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it. It's like Jeff said, when you're looking at it, they made it they tried to do their best to make it look like 80s wrestling, like old 80s wrestling. And like Jeff said, from the commentaries on down, all of them were dressed up. I mean, who was that looked like Kenny Rogers? The dude had like a big Kenny Rogers beard. Was that Stryker?
No. You said he had a big Kenny Rogers beard?
He looked like he had a full beard. One of the commentators was dressed and had like a full beard on. And
had the big glasses?
The big glasses, yes.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of who that was. His name was Poindexter or something. I forget, but I don't even know who that was. But it was good.
Yeah, it was great.
He was good.
It really looked like an older. If you guys have ever watched like old pro wrestling from the late 70s and early 80s, that's what it looked like, because that was in. Everybody had big beards. That was the thing. And it really reminded you of that. Even the ring had the red, white, and blue ropes. I mean, that was the thing. That's how wrestling looked back then. So yeah, it looks like it was a lot of fun, and that's awesome that you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad we did it, because it's one of those unique things that maybe a lot of people wouldn't think to do a watch along for, but that's kind of what we like to do. And I'm glad that we did it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So to steal Dickie Dice stick for a second, it was outlandish. Well, that's good. That's awesome. Brandon Barnes said, I'm late. No worries, Conrad. It's all good. Big up to the Impact roster. Wrestle House and Throwback Throwdown are just lighthearted and fun. Great for fans. Yeah, and I said, you know what? I saw a tweet today, and I'll just kind of cap this off with this. I had to share this on Twitter because it came from Ace Austin, who I gained a lot of respect for, because I didn't know a lot about him, and he was on an interview recently on Busted Open, and it was a really good interview. But I shared it with everyone on our Twitter because I felt that it was prevalent to kind of what we do, and I had to put it. I kind of just posted it this right here. I totally agree. And what he said was, we should have a new disclaimer at the beginning of Impact Wrestling. This show is intended only for audiences that like pro wrestling and also like to have fun. Viewer discretion is advised. And if that's not you, we don't want you here. Keep your bad energy to yourself. From what we heard from Hernandez in that interview, that's the kind of thing that I want to see coming from their talent. And Ace Austin he loves Impact. And for him to tweet that out, yeah, he's got a passion for it, and he has a special place in his heart for it, and he loves the company he works for. And I think that's great. I really think that that's awesome, because that's really what they are. They're just a fun show to watch, and that's why we love the stream so much. We come in, we enjoy it. There's not any arguing. There's not any bickering. There's not any my company versus your company business. It's just fun and easy to do. So, all right, let's move on to our next topic. Jeff, what's up next?
This triple threat match that's at Hard to Kill. This thing is getting heated up, Joe.
Yeah, so this one's kind of hard to predict. Now, yeah, and at first you kind of were thinking. I was even saying, well, Moose has to retain. I don't know now. Morrissey's an X factor, because people are probably thinking, well, it's either Moose or Cardona. Morrissey's, but I don't know. I really don't know. And that's what makes an interesting pay-per-view, because if you go in and you kind of don't know what the outcome is going to be, it makes it that much better. I was saying that if they're going forward with the whole Josh storyline, and we still are kind of up in the air with that, because we don't know what's going on with Josh post-February. So with the contract status. So I don't know. I don't know how they're going to go with this, but I'll tell you, man, Moose, what he did to Chelsea Green, he's making a lot of enemies, and now he's got one in Josh, kind of doing what he did in front of his family, and now he's doing the same thing with Matt Cardona. So I don't know. Maybe this is Matt Cardona's time, but he really laid out Chelsea Green, and Cardona is going to be like a man possessed. Sometimes, though, you see the heels do this, and then the person who they do it to kind of gets anxious to beat that guy up, and it turns against them. So we'll see. It makes for a great. Listen, Hard to Kill is going to be awesome. This is going to be the main event. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that Moose is going to drop that title? Let me know what you guys are thinking. But I don't know. I want Morrissey to win, says James Grant. Any one of these men can win this. But that was what makes it so interesting, Jeff. So, but yeah, this got very heated after this last show.
Yeah, I mean, this was James was talking about. A lot of people were criticizing them for the chair shot to Chelsea. Honestly, I think that just adds to the story. It adds more layers to it. I think it just adds more to Cardona's character development.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on in the show too. But this has been an impressive run from Cardona.
Yeah.
And,
yep.
And Moose and Morrissey have been tremendous too. So, I mean, yeah, this honestly with this, it's like, you can give a legitimate argument for each of the three guys that are in it, which a lot of times with triple threats, you look at a triple threat and you say, okay, well, I know this guy's going to eat the pin. It's between these two guys. You can't really say that here. Everybody's got a legitimate shot. So I thought it was great how they heated up the segment. So I'm looking forward to this, honestly.
Yeah, me too. Hard to Kill is going to be a great show. Conrad says, I don't see him losing it yet. Chad says, I want Morrissey to win. I loved it. It's just typical BS from people who don't watch it regularly, says James. This can lead to a Cardona heel turn, says Conrad.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Moose retains, says James. I think that's a safe bet, is to say that Moose retains. But it's just going to be interesting how this develops and comes out, because he might, but like Jeff said, who is gonna be the one to take the pinfall here? And if it is Cardona, then maybe it leads to a fall, and that fall maybe changes him, and maybe has him do a heel turn. But you got to applaud Matt Cardona. Yes, somebody mentioned it in the chat. how far he's come from where he was to where he is now in Impact. And please don't say this is what gets me when I see, and it's hard for me not to argue, but this is what gets me when I see people say that, oh, Impact, why would they want to go there? That's what upsets me, because these people are making themselves into stars on this show. Not just Matt Cardona, but your Deonna Purrazzo, who came from another company, and many, many others are making themselves into stars. People who Deonna Purrazzo is in many people's top 5, top 10 female wrestler of the year. That's saying something, and she's not in the big 2. So there's more out there than the big 2. And this is what gets me when people are always just saying, well, Impact, they never go to Impact because Impact. I don't want to hear that, because if you watch it, you'll know that these people are coming up through their system, and they're killing it. You can probably name 5 to 10 people that have been in other promotions that are now in Impact, and they are at the top of their careers right now in Impact Wrestling. Mm-hmm. So Cardona is going to be a bad man, and I see Cardona's bad side coming out, says Mark. The chair shot to Chelsea gives more urgency to this match and show how off Moose is from his reaction afterward. I wonder if the winner will be decided if Jonah beats Josh. What would they want, a heel versus heel for the title, or would they want a babyface to take it? Yeah, good point. Heel Cardona in GCW is absolutely awesome. I think Moose will win the match at Hard to Kill, says Dana. Joe and Jeff, maybe this match is appended by a debut, possibly a Titan or former Eater of Worlds. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how they're going to go with it, because last time we saw Titan was on ROH. It still looks to me like those guys are getting together for something with Free the Narrative or Control Your Narrative. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna stick to my guns. If Bray comes back to wrestling, I'm telling you, and you could tell me WWE, you could tell me AEW, you could tell me Impact, I think he's coming back to Free the Narrative. He was invited by his best friend, and I think that's where he's going to show up first. So wherever he goes after that, I don't know, but I think that's where he's going to show up first. So that's my bet on where he shows up. We'll see, but that's where I think he's going to show up. So I might have to delete Twitter, said Derek. Very nasty people. Not even sure if we can consider them human. Have we learned nothing? Just sick to my stomach for today. Yeah, that whole thing that's going on. But listen, I don't. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing that I certainly would let up to whoever is going to do that kind of stuff. You have to look past things on the socials a lot of times, because you just don't know what's going on with any of that kind of stuff. And I'm not, or nor myself nor Jeff are going to sit here and speculate, because it's personal. And the people that are on Twitter really shouldn't interfere. And that goes for anybody. And Jeff and I don't do the kind of a show. We were talking about this before the show started. We don't do the kind of show that we're going to kind of make this a big thing or talk about this kind of stuff anyway, because it's really none of our business. And it's none of anybody on Twitter's business. They're human beings. And what they do in their personal lives, listen, it's up to them. And if it gets leaked somehow, it reminds me of stuff that they used to have in the Star paper and all that kind of stuff, and with celebrities. And listen, this is what they do. Things are going to come out. It's horrible that their lives get invaded. They're celebrities, and unfortunately, this is the kind of stuff that happens. But Derek, anybody would understand if you needed to take a break from things like that. Twitter can be awful, and I've said it before. It's probably one of the worst social media platforms out there. And yeah, people just aren't very kind sometimes. So they chase people off there, and they don't even know. They're so quick to assume the worst about anyone. They don't know the full story. They see something happen, and then boom, I got scared. I told Jeff I was afraid for Chris Bay. I didn't know what was going on with Chris Bay, because I saw Chris Bay put out a goodbye on Twitter, and that's scary when you see that, because you don't know. Luckily, they did get a hold of people who knew him. They got a hold of Hikuleo, and he said he was fine. So that's good. Yeah, you hate to see that. And I think how quickly people forget Hannah Kimura. Yeah, Conrad. man, cyberbullying sucks. And it's just, yeah, it's horrible. It really is. It's horrible. So I don't blame you guys. I mean, it's a platform I try to primarily use for marketing the podcast. And marketing my 80s podcast and throwing out a silly post every now and then on my personal one about stuff that I do. But I try not to really, use it very much. I don't read it a lot anymore. And yeah, it's just not great. So, by the way, anybody know why there was a lot of Triple H reference last night?
There were a lot of Triple H references, Joe. I meant to say that.
Oh, really? On the show?
Lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Interesting. Ooh, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be a slap in the face for someone. All right. Twitter is a cesspool of mindless idiots. Matt Cardona is awesome in the Impact Wrestling, and Matt Cardona was not awesome in WWE. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't. Listen, and that's okay. It's perfectly all right. He got out of there. He was, and he's making a better life for himself somewhere else. That's perfectly okay. More recently, Daphne. Yes. Yeah. That's why I don't use it. It's filled with way too many bad people. Warren Davis, Johnny Bates, Sour Boy. What's up, Johnny Bates? Moose Wins. What's up, Jeff, Joe, and Tazzy? What's going on, Jason? How are you? Just to touch on Hard to Kill, did they announce the X Division title match for the pay-per-view? Yeah, it's Macklin versus oh my God, Trey Miguel.
Trey, yeah.
Trey, yeah.
I almost called him Bill Ding.
Building or Spider Tray, as I'm going to refer to him. I'm sure he saw Spider-Man really quickly. That promo with Macklin too was interesting. He was torturing him, like it was like water torture in the military. That was interesting too. So all of it's not bad. I mean, nothing's ever all bad, Conrad. Yeah, I agree. If you look past it, and I'm of the age where if I see something that annoys me, I will either unfollow, mute, or just outright block, because that's what I do. I don't put up with it. If I see somebody spouting off about something stupid, and I know that, listen, I don't really need to follow that person, I either just unfollow or I block them, one or the other. So those names last night were hilarious. Bill Ding, he's a construction worker. That fits. All right. That fits. It was part of his character. It reminds me of a Saw scene or Punisher. Yeah, it did. It was very, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely part of his character. Absolutely. All right. Let's move on, Jeff.
All right. This classic that we got.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
This was a fantastic match for many reasons. So let's just start there. It was a fantastic match. Of course, Mr. Meltzer's all 5-star and it all over the place. There's 5-star things going up in the sky and on the screen, and there's 5 stars everywhere. Listen, it was a great match between two guys, and I said this, I think, on our last show on Impact, and we were talking a little bit about this. What stood out to me was how good Bryan Danielson really is. How good is this guy? I mean, he was going and going and going and going through this hour match. And he doesn't look like he's ever winded. He doesn't look like he's ever slowing down. And this guy's not a spring chicken. He's not a young dude anymore. And the other thing was that people kind of probably thought when this started going through and you knew it was going to be an hour, I think folks that are wrestling fans, now maybe not necessarily fans of Hangman Page in particular, but if you're a wrestling fan, you might have started thinking to yourself, how is he going to hold up here? Because, this is his first title defense. How is he going to be able to hang with this? And you kind of saw he was kind of, he was taking some breaths, and that's why I said Daniel Bryan just made it look so simple. But kudos to Hangman Page. He stood in there. He made it a great match. It was a great match right to the end. And then, of course, they had the draw at the end. Now, you heard boos from the crowd, but, the boos could have been just because they wanted to finish, or because maybe somebody wanted to say, all right, we're going to give it 5 more minutes or something along those lines. But it finished in a draw. Now, this is the second time Daniel Bryan's been involved in a draw. Very recently, he was involved in a draw with Kenny Omega as well. And now now you have this other one. Now, it's going to lead to a rematch. There's no doubt that they're going to have a rematch with this, and it'll be on a pay-per-view, I'm sure. But great match, brilliant match. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. It was a fun match to watch. I really didn't know that they were going to go. I kind of knew after maybe like 20, 25 minutes. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's going to go a little hour. I figured it would. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought it was an excellent match. Definitely a match of the year candidate, no doubt. But Bryan Danielson, he just blows my mind. At the age he is, where he's come from and gone. Look, this dude was in WrestleMania. I mean, he was just headlining WrestleMania, and he went up against Roman Reigns, and Edge in a WrestleMania match. So 2 of their biggest stars. Now he comes in here and goes up against their champion, goes up against Kenny Omega. What a year it's been for Bryan Danielson. What a year. But great match. And the only thing I heard about it afterwards was, and that's why I put a post or a poll out there about it, was because I wanted to see what people's thoughts were on whether they wanted it to end with a decision or they were okay with the tie. And you could tell me in the chat, or were you okay with the draw? It's different because WWE doesn't do time limits anymore. That begs a question too. Do you guys like time limits? Let me know that in the chat too. And go ahead, Jeff. What did you think of the match? And you can answer. You can let me know as well. I mean, would you like to see time limits back in every wrestling show? Or are you good without them?
I'll answer the first question first. Yes. I absolutely love time limits because for me it adds a little more to the match, a little more urgency.
Trauma.
It harkens back to the days of old when we used to have the 10-minute time limit, the 30-minute time limit, that kind of thing. It makes matches matter a little bit more. In terms of this match, definitely a match of the year candidate, in my opinion.
Yep.
I want people to think about something though. You brought up a good point with conditioning and Hangman. I think this helps tell as much of a story for Hangman as it does for Bryan Danielson. For Hangman, he's the champion, but is he at that upper echelon level to be considered one of the best champions in professional wrestling? And he took this guy who has been on the big stages that you mentioned, and he took him to a draw. Now, he didn't beat him, but he took him to a draw. He had to overcome adversity within that draw. So I think, a lot of people miss those little finer points, the nuances of the performance. But I think that adds as much drama to the story. It's about Hangman's ascension to the top. Yeah, he's a champion. He beat Kenny Omega, but can he beat the biggest names in the sport? Can he be considered one of the best? I think that's what this story is about, and showing that he can hang in there with Bryan Danielson. Just further pushes that story down the line that this guy's pretty good, and he can hang in there and showcase, and it also proves to him that he's still got a little bit of work to do to be considered the best too. So I think that's for people that didn't necessarily like the finish, I think you have to look at some of those other points that are outside of the match result. You have to look at how does this position both guys, and I think it positions both guys very, very well.
Yeah, great points. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think they should go back to time limits. I think all wrestling should have a time limit. It does add that sense of classic wrestling back in. It also gives you the like Jeff was saying, gives you a sense of urgency, gives you the drama. When you have that time limit, even in old WWF and stuff like that, when there's a 20-minute time limit, makes it a little more realistic, I think, too. More like the boxing, like the fight kind of a thing. And it gives you that sense of urgency. So, there's not going to be as much. And maybe it streamlines it down a little bit, too, because maybe you don't have as much dawdling outside the ring, taking your leisurely time, going through the crowd, maybe you won't have that so much. Because you kind of got to get going. And if you don't, you're going to get counted out or the match is going to end. So, yeah, I kind of like it too. And I would think to the writers and to the wrestlers themselves, it would probably be a little bit easier to create a story within that too, because when you're going out there and when you're done. You don't have this thing, well, maybe this is going to go on in 15 minutes. Maybe it's going to go on a half an hour. Maybe it's going to go on. I think it would make it easier for everybody concerned. So I think that they should do that. I really do. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be good for all the wrestling companies. So, great stuff. Let me see what Marley, she scared me. I didn't know she was that close to me. I jumped. Hangman was the equivalent of Apollo Creed in Rocky II without the knockout. He hung with a top-level opponent and upped his respect level. I agree. Yes, WWE do need to do it again, but if they do this with Brock and Roman, people will crap on it. You can't win, and if AEW does it, it was good. You can't. I don't know, Jackson. I think I try not to look at it that way. If it's a good, entertaining thing, you're going to hear it from the fans. And listen, whatever you may think about whichever company you may like, right? The thing you got to really watch the reaction of is from the fans of it. Are the fans invested? When you're watching a show, when you were watching that match with Bryan Danielson and with Hangman Page, were the fans invested? Yes, they were. So if that's what they wanted to do, they're accomplishing what they wanted to do. They've got their fan base invested. On the other hand, if you get Brock and Roman and at day one, are they going to have their fans invested? Chances are they probably will. So I don't know. There's you can argue on every point and back and forth with companies, but if their fans are invested and the fans are happy with what they saw, then fine. Then that's really all they can ask for. That's what they want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't mind the draw. Would love a finish, but it's part of the storyline, says Tazzy. Do you think we have new AEW TNT champions after the Christmas show? I don't know. I don't know that they changing titles is weird. I don't know that they would change titles on a non-pay-per-view show. That really goes for anyone. You don't see title changes unless it's a lower end title happen very often on just the weekly shows. It just doesn't happen. They want you to come out to those big pay-per-views to see title changes. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see what else everybody's saying. I'm loving the Joe and Jeff. Oh, the Funko thing. Yeah, that was Jeff's idea there. That's great. I love that as well. That's on one of our shirts. By the way, check out our shop. It's getting close to Christmas. Who wouldn't want a Shenanigans shirt? Go and get one. Go and check out the stuff on there. There is an Abby's window shirt. If you're an Abby's supporter and you're at Abby's every week, go check that out. But yeah, hey, check out our store. It's Christmas time. Buy yourself a shirt, buy yourself a mug, whatever the case might be. And if you do, show us it, and we'll put up your picture, and we'll say, hey, this person bought our stuff. So yes, do that. In general, that's one thing that wrestling reminds me of football. Occasionally they end in ties. I hate when games or matches end in ties. If there are time limits, there should be some type of overtime to determine the winner. I don't know if that's a little different in football and stuff, though, Mark. I don't know that you want to be doing overtime in a match, because then you get into that, well, let's give them 5 more minutes, and then let's give them another 5 more minutes, and then let's give them, I don't know. I think wrestling, in that respect, it's more akin to me to boxing, where they get a time limit and that's it. It's done. The time is the time. When the time ends, it's over. And if it's a draw, it's a draw. That's just what happens. I think they'll put AEW TNT champions on Cody Rhodes after the Christmas show. Bring back time limits. Jason, 60 minutes for all championship matches, 30 for all tag team, and 20 for all regular matches. Hello, Marley. Do you think weapon matches need to slow down a little bit? We see weapon match everywhere. There's a time and place for all that. Do people need to bleed all the time? I don't think so. I mean, there's certain athletes you expect it from. Like in Impact, you have oh my God, Sami Callihan. You're going to expect it from a Sami Callihan. That's what
Eric
he does.
Young.
Eric Young. That's what he does. Cody Rhodes bleeds every single match
all the time.
That's just listen. That's what they do. So you're going to expect it from people like that. But then when you start getting it from people you don't expect it from, it's a little weird. But, when Jericho was there, Jericho was bleeding a lot too. That's just how it is. So, yeah, can it be overused? Sure, like anything else. But, I don't mind it. I mean, hey, I watch ECW as a fan every single solitary week. So, I mean, that's what they did. That every single Saturday night, that's what they did. So, I don't mind that kind of stuff. How would we have booked it? What the Bryan Danielson?
We're gonna talk about the booking of that match in a later segment. So
there you go. Segue. Segue. The Impact show last night was fun. I got to go back and watch the rest. Yeah, I have to watch the whole thing. Cody would bleed by getting hit by paper bag. He would. He would. Who's Sammy engaged to? Havoc. Did Havoc lose in their debut? And Kimberly. Bryan versus Hangman submission match possible for a rematch? Possibly. Yeah. They're definitely going to be a rematch coming, no doubt. No doubt. All right. What's next, Chef?
All right. Brody King. We saw him show up with Malachi. And no, you're all good. You're all good, Derek.
It's all good, Derek. You had no way of knowing.
We work for the segue. That's it. I mean, that's a lot of times if you see something in the news, chances are you're probably going to see something related to it later on in the show, whether it's the lighter side of the ring or sell or no sell. Just know that when it comes to writing these scripts, it's all about the segue, baby. It's all about trying to get the segue. So yeah, Brody King reportedly is all elite.
I did not know who this was when I saw the segment with Malachi. So yeah, Brody King. That could be a heck of a duo for AEW. Malachi, of course, had that whole thing when he came in against Cody Rhodes and his family, and that thing was going on for a little while. Well, it looks like they're moving off of that now. But now he's got someone else to back him up. And wow, I don't know if they're going to come in as a tag team. They're going to be, doing tag team stuff, or if I don't know if Malachi is starting a faction here, and maybe that's where he's going. And then the rumors are going to start running rampant again with Bray Wyatt, because a lot of people had him associated with Malachi anyway. And Malachi was saying he would have loved to have some sort of a program with Bray. So that's going to start the rumors churning around and what they're going to do there too. But Brody King is an imposing dude, and great to see him now in AEW. We're getting those ROH people, kind of finding homes and stuff like that. So, and it just makes sense. But this is going to be something to watch on AEW for sure. And I love what Malachi's doing. I like the promo that he had with this, and where they're going with it, I don't know, but I dig it. And even though AEW does the supernatural stuff a little bit different, it's kind of, what I kind of compare it to, Jeff, is kind of Chris Nolan's version of Batman. Even though you've got Batman, it's a little more realistic Batman. It's not the comic book Batman. It's not the, the stuff that it makes it hard for you to believe. But AEW kind of does it where it's a little more grounded, a little more down to earth, and it makes it a little bit more, maybe a little bit more believable to fans. But what do you think of Brody King? You probably have I'm sure you do. You have probably more experience watching Brody than I have over the years. But what did you think of the move?
Man, I'm excited. I'm excited to see him and Malachi together. I believe they have a tag team championship on the Indies. I know they have history, so I'm excited to see these guys Yeah, and Jody just popped in. She starts her new job tomorrow, so congrats to her.
Congrats
on that. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. I want to see if this turns into. I just want to see if this turns into a faction, like a family kind of deal. That's kind of what I want to see. But I think it's pretty cool to see these two guys together, and we'll see what happens. I think it'll be good. Somebody brought up earlier those two guys and Vincent together from Ring of Honor. Yes, give me that, please, please, please. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what they do.
Absolutely. And we're still working on I have spoken to Vincent. I know he's busy. And he had the pay-per-view last week and stuff like that, but I have spoken to him. So hopefully we get a date going where Jeff and I can sit down and talk with Vincent as well. That'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully we get to do that. Jody says, Merry Christmas, bitches. Let's see. Brody King. This is someone AEW needs to push to the top. He is really good, says Randy Sam. Would love to see Black and Brody and the Horror King Vincent. Yes. You know all about the segue. Yeah. We got to get a t-shirt. It's all about the segue. We need a shirt for a segue. Yes. Imagine a heel Danhausen in House of Black. Oh my gosh. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. Let's see. Of course, not sure. Well, make it happen. Well, there you go. There's some breaking news. So Abby's is happening tomorrow. So there you go. Good. There you go. So that will happen tomorrow. So 6:00 p.m. Make sure you join Jody and Jeff for Abby's window. So there you go. I think they do that for Roman Reigns storyline because Roman Reigns wants some time off. I start my new job tomorrow. Awesome. Good luck. Brody and Black versus the Lucha Brothers for the tag belts. Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'd be down for that. A female will be perfect in House of Black. Abaddon. Maybe Butcher and Blade. Yeah, I saw Conrad mention Butcher and Blade too. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Roman's needle mover shirt. Yeah, that caused some controversy, didn't it? What a silly thing to cause controversy. You had some of those people on Twitter jumping all over Roman Reigns because he wore, and God forbid, took a little shot at someone and wore a needle mover shirt. Listen, he's the main star of that company right now. If anyone's going to take a shot at anyone, that's what he's going to do. And so what are you going to do? It is what it is. He's doing it to be fun, have fun. So it is what it is. All right. What's up next, Jeff?
KO resigns with WWE.
How many people in the chat, and tell me seriously, how many of you in the chat thought he was going? Tell me. How many people in the chat thought Kevin Owens was on his way to AEW? Seriously, tell me. And just come right out and say it. It's okay if you did, because I kind of did, to be honest. But let us know if you thought Kevin Owens was out the door. Misty says me. Yeah, I did too. I really didn't think. I thought him and Sami Zayn were out the door. I really didn't think he was coming back. I mean, with how Kevin was saying that, he the things he was saying and how he was being used, you kind of assumed that he would be gone. And it didn't really seem like WWE had much of a vision for him or anything. But I don't know. Listen, I guess they want him there. And obviously they do want him there, or else they wouldn't have given him that. He has a clause in his contract that says he can't be cut, which I don't blame him for. But yeah, I'm surprised that he's staying. And I think that Sammy will probably get re-signed as well, because they're really using him a lot too. But look, I love Kevin Owens. I have since he was in NXT. He's a brawler. He's a fighter. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the muscular guy. But the dude, you could tell he has fun wrestling. You could tell he enjoys it. You could tell he enjoys his fans. He sacrifices his body all of the time. This guy takes bumps and falls and stuff like that. And Jeff, you know what? He reminds me a lot of Mick Foley. He really does. He reminds me a lot of Mick in that respect. Not necessarily Mankind Mick, but maybe early Mick, like Indies Mick and stuff like that. He really has that kind of a thing with me. But
like Cactus Jack, almost.
like Cactus Jack,
yeah.
He reminds me of that, and I think, I think it's a good thing that he did. I think it's a good situation that he stayed. I thought it would be better for KO to stay with WWE. I think KOR is out. Gargano is a tough situation too. Yeah, with the NXT guys, we don't know what's going to happen with them. Kyle O'Reilly would make a lot of sense, I guess, going to AEW because of the people who are already there. Gargano, I don't think is going to make any sort of decision until his child is born and he spends some time with his wife and kid and takes his time and does what he wants to do at that point. But I don't know. I'm happy to see that Kevin Owens is back. I hope that they use him in good situations. I hope that they don't just bring him back and he's not just a guy who's going to roll over for the next big thing. Wouldn't mind him seeing him get that title again and wearing it for a little while as well, whichever title it may be, some sort of title around his waist. But Jeff, I'm glad he's back. I like and I respect Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I was one of the few people that thought he was going to stay.
Okay.
Just based on the sheer number of free agents that were out there. And then looking at his situation too, what would have been best for him? I think had he gone to AEW, it would have been a lot of the same situation. You see him. I mean, it would have been cool to see him come back as Kevin Steen, that kind of thing. But he's where does he fit in the picture?
Right.
At least where he is now, there's a level of familiarity with his situation. I think he had a lot more leverage than people were willing to admit, in my opinion. And I think him doing what he did on social media and being vocal, I think helped his positioning when it came to negotiating his contract. And there's a report out there, and I don't read a lot of these reports, so it just has to hit me in the right way. But there's also a report that, even though it's not public, Sami Zayn has already re-signed his contract.
Great.
So, again, it goes to, you can jump ship and go to another company, but where do you really fit in that other company? Whereas what you're dealing with where you are. And if you're smart, like he was with this contract negotiation, you can add some things into your contract that are very friendly for you. But ultimately, and he came out and said this, he did this to support his family and to put his family in the best possible position. And if you have any problem with a person doing what's best for them and their family, that's not a their problem, that's a you problem.
Yes, it is.
So,
yes, it is. Absolutely. Very good. All right. Let me see. I thought he was going to go, but seeing why he resigned due to family, I respect that. I knew he was staying, said Tazzy. Not surprised he stayed. A big fan of AEW, but they have too much going on right now for KO to go there. Kevin Steen says, erase your mind. I kind of thought he was going to AEW, says Chad. I was hoping he would once again be Kevin Steen. Me for sure. Me, says Dana. I thought he would stay, says the TLD. Welcome to TLD, by the way. Alicia says, a little part of me thought, I thought KO was leaving, says Chris. I thought he was trolling going AEW, and I thought he might stay, but slight doubt. I thought it would be better for KO. That was Conrad's comment. Kevin Owens is great, says Shane. Hey, Shane. I was pleasantly surprised he re-signed. I thought he was gone, and there should have been tissues for all WWE hardliners who cried like Superintendent Chalmers when his car was vandalized. Always Big Dan with the Dan brings back all the past stuff, the comparisons. Hilarious. He does that in our 80s show too. Couldn't see KO signing again with WWE. I thought he was AEW bound. Same with Sammy, says Graham. I didn't think he was going to AEW, but I saw him going back to ROH. Tazzy, your T cut off when you said KO was staying. Reports are AEW refused to match and could not match WWE's contract. Okay. Way too early in the game to call KO in the Fatal 4 on day one. Wouldn't be shocked if he wins the WWE title. Wow. Okay. Elite can't have it. No, they can't. No company can. No company can. They all have limitations. There isn't endless money, and there isn't endless places for people to be used. So no, they can't. Absolutely. I don't want everyone going to one company anyway. They don't have high enough spots for him. We have people we want to see more of on TV. WWE seemed like the right move. KO left and Sammy would have left too. I think Sammy was waiting to see what he did first. Yeah, they're good friends. Being an NXT guy, I'm glad an NXT alumni is staying. I see if WWE does something with Kevin Owens, and I agree, Tazzy, says James. Okay, cool. All right, well, there you go. So
last one.
How could I forget this one? The Advocate has been fired. And when I saw this, right to the top of my head went, they're playing him. That's the first thing I thought, that they're playing him. And you can even see, if you go back and watch when he lays him out with that Superman punch. Yes, wrestling, they're not hitting the person when they're doing that. It's a near miss. Look, more of an intentional near miss, though. You really saw him didn't connect. So, I think they're playing him. And I could be off base. I could be completely wrong here, but I think they're playing Brock. I think that was all a show. And I think that they came up with this plan. And I think that Heyman, now listen, is Heyman still two-faced? Sure. That's what he is. So there's still Heyman's that Weasley dude who always is going to go with who has the power. And the minute that Brock wins the title, and I do think he will, the minute that he wins the title, he's going to beg and scratch and claw to get back with Brock, because that's what he is. He wants to be with the guy in charge. But I think they're playing Brock in a big way here. I don't think that he did that on purpose. I think that this is all a plan. And I think in day one, they're going to screw Brock. And I think Brock's going to kind of think that Heyman's on his side now. Heyman's going to do something to, like he did last time when he tossed in that belt. He's going to do something to help Roman Reigns. And Brock is going to get screwed. That's what I think is going to happen. As soon as I watched it, I was thinking that, and that's what I'm going to stick with, because I think that what's going to happen after that is that we'll see how this goes. This is planning ahead a lot. But I think on the following SmackDown, I think Roman will come out and Roman will say, Brock, you're done. You're done. You're not getting any more chances. I beat you. I beat you twice. You're done. And then I think what happens after that is, how can Brock get another chance? Well, he can go to the Rumble and win the Rumble, and then he could call his shot. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Brock's going to – this was rumored months ago, too, that Brock was going to win the Royal Rumble. So that's not the first of anyone's heard of it. But I think Brock's going to win the Rumble, and Brock's going to then challenge Roman for the title, and I think Brock's going to take it off of him at WrestleMania. I think we're seeing major title changes at this WrestleMania. I really do. I think it's going to be I think Brock's going to win. I think Liv Morgan is going to win. I think you're going to see faces prevail at this pay-per-view. And I think they're going to prevail because they're going to be in front of a humongous audience. And the audience sticks for the faces in general. So I think they're going to really want to make fans happy at this show. And I think that's what you're going to see. So, Jeff, did you get the same vibes? What were you thinking when you first saw this?
I mean, this just reeks of how hard can we play Brock here? Like, how, what can we do to really get this guy to play this guy? I think he's getting played. I do. And I think it's going to make him angry. And I think I think if we thought that we saw an impressive Royal Rumble performance from Brock before, just wait until January. Just wait.
Yeah.
A pissed off Brock trying to earn a shot at Roman again after being screwed over. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see. I think people are just going to get destroyed. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what takes place. But I do think that this was a setup. It was too public and too nice of a breakup.
Yeah,
for it to be real, in my opinion. But it's honestly, this has been, you got to give WWE credit. They have done so well with this storyline, adding layers, making it interesting. This has been really, really well done. And See Wrestling just brought up something. Brock Lesnar is having fun, folks.
My God.
Brock Lesnar is having fun. Seeing this version of Brock Lesnar is fun for wrestling. So hopefully you're enjoying it as much as we are, as much as other people are, because this is a lot of fun.
The last time that you've seen him have fun like this was when he had that boombox in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who knew? Like, everybody kind of figured, well, Heyman's with him because he's his mouthpiece and he has to talk. Obviously, no, he does not. He's a completely different character. And let me tell you something. Him and that coverall deal, you want to talk about a dude who can be in a horror film easily? Yeah. Who would want to see that? Oh my God! Standing in that, then he comes in, and don't tell me that dude doesn't look imposing, because he is looking. He's getting older, but oh my God, there's no way I'd want to mess with any of that. He is just, he's huge, and he looks like he's even bigger than he used to be. I love what he's doing, and he's having fun. And who would have thought? Who would have thought after all these years? You know, and everybody's saying, it's going to be Brock and Roman again. It's just a rehash of it. They're completely different people. Roman is doing his best work as a heel, which a lot of people wanted for years. So he's doing his best work that he's ever done as a wrestler. And that, for me, that's saying something, because I've never been a fan of his. But he is doing amazing work at that character. Brock, same thing. Brock is now the face, and he is playing the face, and I love what he's doing. It's absolutely great work by both of them. And this storyline is long-term storytelling. You know what I just have to say? Please don't tell me that people don't like long-term storytelling. Please don't use that as an excuse. I don't want to hear a company say that. Well, we have different audiences now. They don't like long-term storytelling. They want short-term. Baloney. That's garbage. They don't. You can take two perfect examples: the Adam Page thing with the Hangman Adam Page with Kenny Omega storyline, and now this. Two storylines that have been going on and on and on and on and on and on and on with no resolution. And you know what? People love it. Every week they want to see it. And so don't tell me that people have short-term memory and they don't want to see it. And no, we want it now. We want it now. That's not true. Wrestling fans always like long-term storytelling. It has not changed. So I don't want to hear that. That's a cop-out. If they're saying that, then they just don't know how to do it right. So don't give me that, because it's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. The TLD says, yes, I thought the same thing about Brock. I agree. They should be playing to catch Brock off guard. Brock doesn't remember Heyman turn on him for a big show or RVD or Punk. Yeah, Heyman can't be trusted at all. Even if you do, you're completely wrong. Now, the thing is, does Brock maybe know? Does he maybe know that Heyman is doing it? That could be another little thing they might put in there as well. I heard Roman is pushing for Seth to win the Rumble. They can go there. I mean, if they want to have that whole Seth and Roman thing, but the only thing is Seth's playing a great character too. And Seth is a heel without a doubt. So do you want the heel versus heel thing happening? Yeah, you can. It's not going to give you, though, I don't think, the same thing that the Roman versus, because it's not going to be the same audience reaction, I don't think, as you know, Brock and Roman do. Love the finish, says Conrad. C's comment, it's been so much fun watching Brock actually have fun in wrestling. We've never seen Brock enjoying himself, and that's what we got right now. Yeah, absolutely. If that's true, we get Roman versus Brock versus Drew at Mania. I could see Drew winning the title. Brock and Lashley face off for Royal Rumble. Don't tease me, Randy. Brock shows a lot of character, and Sammy is so good, and everybody just wants to see Sammy get another title shot. Maybe, well, he may win that thing that's going to happen on SmackDown this week, where he may go and get his Intercontinental title back, which could be very possible for Sammy. What's more vicious, past Brock or Hunter Brock? Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with any of them, to be honest. They're both imposing dudes. I don't want to mess with any of them. Don't be surprised if Brock comes out with the farmer music. Paul Heyman's a creative genius, and these three men are telling a fantastic story. Lesnar adores R-Truth. Oh, yeah, with the boombox thing? Yeah, it was great. All right, let's move on.
Joe, do you have any grievance?
You know what? I don't, Jeff, but we'll play the theme music anyway because everyone loves it, and then I'm just going to just say a little thing, and we can move on. Unless you have one.
Okay. I don't.
Okay.
So
okay.
Here it is, everyone. I mean, people love this stuff, so I'm glad we could do it. So here it is.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're gonna hear about it.
And the reason why I wanted to do this was kind of twofold. One, because if you have watched Seinfeld and you know where this came from, Festivus is upon us, right? It's that time of the year. And the only thing I really want to say, and this is not a grievance with wrestling or any grievance at all for that matter. I'm just going to say this. Christmas is a time to, obviously everybody spends it with family. Everybody spends it with friends. It's a magical time of the year. When you're younger, you that excitement that you get coming downstairs and seeing the gifts and stuff like that. When I was a kid, I would get up, I would wake my parents up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't even light out. I'd be knocking at their door and my dad would be like, get back to bed. And, and I'd have to go lay down in my bed again and I wouldn't sleep. And then by the time they finally decided, all right, no, come back at like 6:30 or 7 o'clock and then we'll come downstairs. It's a magical time. It really is. If some of you out there have children, you or plan on having children someday, it really is for children. Festivus is this Thursday. Yes. So see, it fits. It's my 394th game. I met Krampus way back when. Yes, I did. But so here's all I want to say. You guys were talking earlier about the socials and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. All I'm going to tell you is this. I've had, in all of my years that everybody likes to make fun of me being older, but in all of my years, I've had a lot of friends throughout my life. And I can honestly say, and I don't mind sharing this with all of you. It's personal, but I don't mind sharing it. I don't have any that I can look back on and say that we don't speak, we don't talk, we don't. I've always managed to keep that kind of thing going. I'm proud of that. And but if you're in that kind of situation. And especially a lot of you guys are all friends, you're all wrestling fans and stuff like that. But if you, I don't know, maybe you met a person on the socials, maybe you got to be friends with somebody on the socials via wrestling or something like that. And if you get into a disagreement or something along those lines, and maybe you're in that right now, maybe that's going on right now. Let this be a time of year when you put that to the side and you reach out to a person. If you with anybody really, if it's someone in your family that maybe you were close to at one point, maybe you had an argument or maybe something got in the way and you don't talk to that person anymore or whatever the case might be, reach out to that person, use Christmas to do that, reach out to them, talk to them, because listen, the last thing that you're, all we hear about, and this goes into wrestling too, but all we hear about is when people are gone, when people pass away. And I heard a quote from someone, and it might have been Bully Ray, talking about wrestlers that have passed away on, I think it was on Busted Open. But he says, don't save the flowers, or don't save the flowers for a person until they're gone. In other words, you put flowers on a person's grave, that's a thing, or you give, don't save them until they're gone. Give them the flowers, give them the stuff now while they're still around. So that's really all I wanted to say. It's just a kind of a Christmas message I wanted to pass along to everybody. If you have that going on with anybody, now is the time to go out there and to try to, to solve it, to try to get to the bottom of it, and to try to get past it, and stuff like that. So that was it. Just a little positivity kind of a message heading into the Christmas season, and again, passing it on to you all early. Of course, we'll talk about this on our show on Thursday as well, but we wish you all the happiest of holidays, and however you celebrate them, and hopefully that you will have a great time with your family and your friends, and so on and so forth. So that's it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's funny. Deanna said, "Joe with no grievance. Who are you?
I know,
what did you do with Joe?" One of us always has one. I mean, honestly, this week, I don't really have one. The only one I have, and it's not even really a grievance, it's just more of a statement. Don't be a dick. How about that? Like,
that's pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Like, don't be a dick on social media. Like, if something's not your business, here. So I had a OG tell me this. One of my uncles tell me this, and I'll clean it up a little bit. I'll clean it up some, but he said if it doesn't affect your money, your job, or your significant other, mind your business. If it doesn't affect any of those places, then it's probably not for you. So yeah, when people are doing stuff in their personal lives, whether it's a celebrity or any of that, just mind your own damn business. How about that? Don't be a dick.
There you go.
That's my Christmas message to people. You can wrap it up, put a bow on it. Don't be a dick. How about that? So
that's awesome. There you go. Oh man, tried to sneak a Mickey star on the tree. Didn't go well. I wouldn't think it would go well, Derek. I'm surprised you're even on here talking right now.
Yeah, I know.
Conrad says, "Don't be a dick." That's going to end up getting
hashtag.
Yeah, that's going to get hashtagged. Straight to the point, says Graham. Well, damn, says BS. Worry about your own self. Yes. Mind your business. Yes. Yeah, good stuff. So there you go. And if you haven't watched that Seinfeld episode, you got to go and watch it.
Watch it.
If you haven't seen, Ben Stiller is a comedy genius. Rest in peace. But oh my gosh, yeah. If you have not seen that episode of Seinfeld, then you don't know what you're missing. Go watch it. It's hilarious. Hilarious. You're on the naughty list for Santa now, Jeff. Derek says I'm still alive. I'm kind of surprised, almost.
Surprised.
If you really do that. Joe says he has no grievances, prefers regular to new and improved Folgers, and loves every other Saturday to sleep on a pile of flat basketballs. All right, on we go. Onward and upward.
So here we go. It's time for the bell.
Ding, ding. It's our debate segment, folks. By the way, speaking of Rocky, I saw the best Funko Pop ever, and I shared it on Facebook. It is, they named it Rocky with Chicken. Rocky Balboa, and I don't know if you remember Rocky 2, when Mick makes him chase the chicken around the alleyway, and they have a Rocky in the disgusting sweatpants that he wore, the ripped shirt, and he's holding the chicken. It is the best Funko Pop I think I've ever seen. And that's what it's called, Rocky with Chicken.
Rocky with Chicken.
It's hilarious. I'm like, that's genius. Funko is there. Whoever does their stuff, genius. Absolutely genius. But all right, topic number 1. The finish in the Hangman Danielson match was lazy booking. Lazy booking? Really? All right. Sell or no sell? Go ahead, Jeff. Start it off.
I'm gonna no sell that. I don't think it was lazy booking. I think it was, if you look at the story arc, if you look at the storyline, it made sense. The finish made sense. I think, and I know I see somebody that said sell. It just made sense to me because neither guy could afford to take a loss with what you're doing. And, it's not time to have Hangman lose it yet. It's not time to have Brian Danielson lose just yet because of the trajectory that you have him on. So I get it, but I'm looking at the nuances of the match. I'm looking at how certain spots were done, how Hangman looked at certain places. So, I didn't mind it. I actually, it made me harken back to a time where Sting and Flair had a time limit draw. Right before Sting kind of made that leap from the guy that could almost get it done to the guy that got it done. So no sell for me on this one. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna no sell it as well. It looks like the most of the chat. Now who is it? James Grant. James Grant said sell. The ending of Hangman Danielson was lazy booking in my view. Okay.
Hey, that's
however you see it. Yeah,
exactly.
However you see it. Rocky Chicken, Deanna. Yeah, go look that up. It's freaking hilarious. It seems like everyone else is saying no sell. Alicia, yes. Yeah, Alicia, don't ever feel alone. You've got friends out there, regardless of whether they're across the internet on a keyboard. It doesn't matter. But everyone is, and you're part of our community, so you're not alone. Everyone else saying no sell, no sell, no sell, no sell, no sell, no sell. Yes, I'm saying no sell as well. And for pretty much the same reasons that Jeff mentioned, you couldn't really see either one of those guys really taking a loss. I would have thought if it was going to happen, that Daniel Bryan was going to take the loss because I knew they were going to take the belt off of Hangman so soon. But they wanted to keep playing it out. They felt that, they wanted to see these guys test their mettle within this hour match, give everybody this crazy finish. And again, the detractors, the people who hate on AEW stuff are going to come out and say, well, their fans were booing. Yeah, but they were booing probably because they wanted to see an end. They wanted to see something happen. They were on that roller coaster the entire time. And listen, I'm old enough to remember watching Saturday Night's Main Event a lot. You want to talk about that, where they would end up time limits? So much time on that show, which was on every single Saturday night on NBC, and it was only on for an hour. They had so many time limit draws on that show, I can't even tell you. So I'm kind of used to seeing a lot of that anyway. And I didn't mind it. It was a great match. They had you going through the whole thing right to the very end. You thought that Hangman Page might somehow pull that out. He didn't. So, yeah, no sell. I don't think it was lazy booking. I think it was a good match. It was done as well as it could be done. The match was good. It all turned out well. Could you complain about a nitpick? Sure, I guess you can if you want to, certain things. But I love the match. So, yeah, no sell for me. For me, it was a hard watch. Because I'm in the UK on Fight, we don't have commercials. And during commercials, they just sat around. I think that's what took me out of it in live events. You know what? For us, the damn thing, they didn't have the picture-in-picture. We lost the picture-in-picture at one point, and it was a pivotal point in it. It was like around the 40-minute mark when they had maybe the third commercial, and they're showing commercials. I'm like, what are you doing? So that just so to show you I was invested because I'm sitting there like, no, what are you're taking that off? Where's the picture-in-picture? So, yeah, I could see that. I guess, when you're watching it all through and there's no commercials and it's just kind of like, I guess it could kind of slow down at that point. So, yeah, could understand that. I call that match Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. Brian can't beat Kenny in 30, can't beat Hangman in 60. Iron Man match, the next match. Oh, good Lord. You want to fight forever? Fight forever. Not now, but I do see Danielson becoming AEW champion one day. I don't know, Mark. I don't know if he this is going to depend on what he wants. And I don't know that he's at a point in his career where he necessarily needs to have gold anymore. I think you get to that point, and he's doing what he wanted to do, and they gave him a different opportunity to be with different people and see different people go. So I don't know. Maybe he will. Can never say never, but I don't know. I don't know that Brian Danielson. See, I did it too. I don't know that Brian Danielson is that same person. I don't know that he necessarily needs to have the gold anymore. Now I got Mortal Kombat theme stuck in my head. All right, Jeff. What's topic 2?
Topic 2, Matt Cardona is on the best run of his career in Impact Wrestling, sell or no sell.
I think that's a pretty easy sell for me. I'm going to say I'll sell it. Yeah, I'll sell it. I think that, I mean, look, we saw what he was in WWE. And I'm not just going to hold this just to, yes, his career path right now in Impact. Yes, he's definitely, I think, well ahead of the game. But even outside of Impact and the things he's doing in other companies that people were talking about in the chat earlier too. So not only is he doing really well in Impact right now, but he's also having impact in other wrestling places as well that he goes out and does on the road. So, yes, without a doubt, right now, I think what Matt Cardona is doing is the best in his career. I think what gives him a little bit of an edge to me, Jeff, is the fact that he is with Chelsea. The fact that he is with Chelsea Green. I think that adds to his story. And that really, that is why I think WWE missed a grand opportunity with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, because the two of them are a couple very similar to Matt and Chelsea. You can do that if you do it right and you write it correctly, where some person might say, well, if that person's always going to be with the other person, they're going to be a detriment to them at some point. So we can't make that work. No, you can. You just have to know how to do it. So, but yeah, I without a doubt, I think he's doing the best he's done, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm going to agree for a lot of the same reasons that you said. And I will say that one person stuck in catering is another person's star. This dude has been, he's been all over the place, all over the map. Conrad bringing up GCW and NWA. Yep. Yeah, he's been in NWA too. So if you haven't checked out NWA in a while, check it out. He's been there. Lots of good stuff going on for Cardona. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it. And to see him at this point, where he's challenging for a title, and it's not necessarily he's challenging for a title, he's probably not going to win it. It's just kind of there. No, he's got a legitimate shot at winning this title.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, will it happen? That's another conversation. But, honestly, he's on a brilliant run right now. So I think he's having the best run of his career.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
And by the way, I gotta say this real quick. I don't know what it is about Tampa Bay and the
Saints. I just looked at it. It was 6-0 in the third quarter.
I don't know what it is, and I'm trying to be nice about it, but dear Lord, can we please find a touchdown? Just a touchdown. A touchdown.
If Tom Brady has kryptonite, it is New Orleans.
It's New Orleans.
It's New Orleans. Like, if there's somebody that can, I mean, there aren't too many teams that can say they've gotten the better of Tom Brady, but if there is one, it's New Orleans, and they don't even have their coach. Yeah, Sean Payton isn't even there because of COVID. So yeah, I just saw that. I'm like, what? It's 6. I thought it was going to say like second quarter. It's the third quarter already, and they haven't scored. That's kind of crazy. The Saints have a pretty good defense, though. So
yeah, they do.
All right, what is topic number 3?
Topic number 3. Yeah, we lost a couple receivers already. WWE's Day 1 will bring major surprises and title changes. Sell or no sell?
I'm going to no sell that, and I think I kind of explained myself before when I did it. I think it'll maybe you'll get a couple surprises. I guess I kind of say I should have went 50-50. I don't think it'll be title changes necessarily, but I think maybe like an undercard title or maybe an intercontinental title or something along those lines might get changed, but I don't think it's going to be championship. I told you guys before, I think Roman is going to retain. I don't think any major titles are going to change hands there. So I also think, so that would be Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch are having a rematch as well. I don't think that'll change hands there either. I think that they're going to both go on to WrestleMania with those feuds. C says day one of Liv Morgan's title run. And maybe they do. Maybe they do. And I'm down with that. She deserves it. If that's when they choose to give it to her, I'm good with it. But I don't know. I just kind of have a funny feeling that having her have that WrestleMania moment that they talk about with the fans there, and dude, Dallas is huge. That arena can hold 100 grand easy. And if they pack that, that'll be one of the biggest crowds they've ever had. They had the biggest crowd record there before. So, I don't know. I don't think any major title changes. Surprises, sure. You can bring in someone who hasn't been there for a while. I mean, Asuka is probably due to come back. I know Bayley's been talking a little bit on Twitter about how she may be getting close. So you can certainly bring in some people that have not been there for a while. So I kind of think that, you might be able to get surprises there, but I don't think you're going to see any of the major titles change hands there. I also don't think people are saying, well, what about Big E? I don't think so. I know some people are saying, well, Bobby's getting a push again. Yeah, he kind of is, but I don't think that Big E's going to lose it that soon. I think, again, I'm looking further down the road, and I'm thinking that Big E will get his new challenger from the Rumble. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, will Brock go after Big E? Maybe. So I think I guess I'm 50-50 split on it, but I'm going to say no because I don't think there will be any major title changes on the show. What are you thinking?
So I'm gonna love it, but not for title changes. I think this is going to be a landscape shift for WWE. I don't think we get a lot of title changes, but I do think we start to see an edgier product, something that makes a lot more sense. Something that we start to see a clear direction. I think there will be an explanation in terms of a method behind all of the madness that us fans have seen over the last year and a half, 2 years. I think we start to get them moving in a direction that makes a lot of sense and that might be surprising to some people in a good way. So that would be my reason for selling it is I do think that we get something different. I'm thinking that we may get one title change here or there, but I don't know. But I think we'll get some interesting storylines that develop coming out of this going into the Rumble. That's what I think in terms of major surprises and some things that we weren't expecting.
Yeah, I could certainly see that. They're going to do, I mean, it's a brand new show. They're going to definitely want people to watch. And so, you might expect that they will do some kind of things to get eyes on the product. I just don't necessarily know that equates to title changes. So,
right.
We'll see. Maybe we're wrong.
Right.
We'll see. Might see blood at day one, says Tazzy.
That'd be a surprise.
That would be a shocker, wouldn't it? Somebody busted open. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see Bobby versus Brock. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Yeah, a lot of people wouldn't mind seeing that, especially now that Brock's a face. Yeah, that would fit. I'm 50-50 when it comes to day one, says Mark. Your audio is spot on tonight, says Tony. Well, there you go. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. Jeff, I'm agreeing with you. I want Tampa to win. If Tampa wins, then Washington stays in that wild card spot in the NFC. Holding on to hope for the Washington football team. You guys really need a name. Like the fact that you don't have a name yet, that you could really need a name. All right.
Call yourselves the Senators or something. I mean, it's generic and boring, but good God, I don't want to call you guys the football team.
You need something. Yeah, I mean, come on. You need something. After years and years of having like one of the, I don't know, the greatest rivalries with my Cowboys that you could have. I mean, to call them the football team, yeah, you need a name. All right. So that's it for the debate segment. Let's go moving on.
Let's book a wrestler.
It is book a wrestler time. Listen, this we got from you guys in the chat last week, actually. So those of you who were here last week, you probably know who this is going to be because you kind of requested it, and that's the kind of stuff we do. So who is our book a wrestler for this week?
So it's Jonah.
And a lot of people asked about this last week that we should book Jonah. So there you go. All right. So Jeff, go ahead, start it. You, how would you book Jonah? We know we have what we have seen from him in NXT. We know we have seen from him so far in Impact. Pretty impressive in both ways. The man won gold in NXT, and now, of course, he's right back in the picture again in Impact Wrestling, and looks that much more threatening. How he came in and just took apart Josh Alexander, who was on top of the world pretty much. You can't be really more impressed with that. So go ahead, man. Yeah. What would you do with Jonah?
And before I get started, I want to see people's ideas in the chat.
Yes.
You gave us a name. I want to see your ideas in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's quite simple for me. I want to see him just wreck people. I want to see him destroy people. I want to see him get up on that top rope and just splat, just dominate people. I think it would be really interesting to see him as a champion. But here's what I want to see. I want to see him as the X Division champion for a little bit.
Okay.
I want to see him as X Division champion for a little while. Just for a little while. And kind of option C that thing like Josh did. That's what I want to see. I want to see him, beat up on Josh a little bit, and Moose is preoccupied. But I want to see him take that X Division title. And people may say, but he doesn't belong in the X Division. Yeah, he does, because the X Division can be for anybody. In Impact Wrestling. So I just want to see him dominate. I want to see him hold a title. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Impact title. And as much as I love Josh, I'll say it like this. I would be down for another triple threat at Slammiversary or Bound for Glory between Moose, Josh, and this guy, Jonah. That's what I want to see. I want to see that be the end game.
That'd be a hell of a match. That would be a hell of a match. That would incorporate Josh sticking around, and we kind of all hope that he does, to see this kind of through, and just the fact that we like him, and hopefully he stays in Impact. But we'll see. We'll see. Let me see what people are saying. Monster who comes after the biggest guys and champs taking titles, says Deanna. Tony, you said he needs a manager. Who would it be?
Yeah.
Who would it be? You think he needs a mouthpiece? I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I agree with that. Listen, he's a big man, but he's got kind of a soft-spoken, and he's got that accent going for him too. So he's a big man, but he's got a little bit more of a soft-spoken voice. He's not a guy who comes out like Vader, right? Like, it's Vader time. And he's got that he's got that beastly, the snarl when he talks and stuff like that. He doesn't have that. He's a little more of a soft-spoken dude. I don't know. I don't mind.
Which can be scary.
It could very well be.
Like, I love him because Derek, and I'm sorry, Derek brought this up, but his video package last week, he's just kind of talking, and he's got the accent going, and he's just real matter of fact and calm. And then he's saying, I'm going to beat you.
Yep.
I'm going to destroy you. Yep. I don't need him to be hype, because he just made me crap my pants by just talking calm like that. Like that makes it worse for me. That he's talking that calm. But I wouldn't mind seeing him with someone. I just want to know, who would you put him with in Impact Wrestling? If you had him get a manager, who would you put him with? Because that's not something you see a lot of in Impact.
Right.
So would you bring in someone new? Would you have someone like, I don't know, what would really be interesting is if you had someone, and people are going to think I'm crazy and out of left field, but hear me out. Think about someone like Swinger, who's goofy, but he needs a henchman. Think about how much more serious people would take Swinger if he had Jonah as the guy who was doing the heavy lifting for him. And he was kind of his heavy, like, hey, this is my guy. You mess with me, you got to mess with Jonah. You got to go through Jonah to get to me. It would add another element to the story, which I think would be pretty cool. It'd add a little bit of comedy in some places. But could you imagine some of the squash matches that he would have trying to protect Johnny Swinger?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. He's almost like, and Big Dan would remember this. He's almost like those after school specials you used to come home and watch when you were a kid, and you'd always have the ones about the bully. And the bully would end up having to the kid would end up having to befriend another person to come and fight off the bully. So yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting take. Maybe Violent by Design. Oh, good Lord. If he joined Violent by Design, I'd probably book him as a monster heel and just take down everyone. No one could take him down. Jonah beats Josh at Hard to Kill. Then Jonah attacks whoever and wins the triple threat match, and he wins the title at the next pay-per-view. Wow, okay.
Ooh.
Hearing his promo this past week really opened my eyes to how scripted they are in the E. He can really talk when he's not held back.
Yeah.
Moose isn't distracted, needs to take him down. I'd probably have him as X Division champ for a while, then have him win the Impact title at Bound for Glory. Jonah should be booked as an enforcer for a stable called SOS, Survivors of Stamford, with Cardona, Myers, Chelsea Green, The Inspiration, EC3, Enzo, and Deanna. Jonah as new X Division champ. As Roman says, you want to see Jonah smash someone. He reminds me of Jeff Cobb, says Tony.
Yeah.
Could go all mouth of the South and someone like Zicky. I was just going to say that. Read my mind. The muscle of the club. Him and Hernandez, a swingers group. What about if he was Moose's henchman? Goodness. His promo. I had vibes of, and I know people might think I'm crazy. Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh.
Jake the Snake, man, could do a promo. And he's probably one of the best of all time. And he never, ever raised his voice. Never. He spoke very softly and got through the promo, and he never, ever raised his voice, and he was terrifying. Terrifying. So I can see that with him. He's got the promo part of it down. He's got and the voice that he has, the accent that he has, perfect promos. And as far as booking him myself, yeah, there's really no way. I don't think you should. Some different interesting angles, and that's awesome because he I'm sure he could pull any of that stuff off. For right now, though, I think he is coming in. He came in with that edge. He popped into AAA and then came in with that edge to Impact that he's just going to listen. I'm just here and you're not going to do anything about it. And I'm just going to take you out. And that is a very bold way to start in a company, but I'm fine with that. With the way that they're booking him right now is they're booking him as this monster who's just going to come in there. And like Jeff said, he's just going to wreak havoc. And I'm okay with that. Let's see where that goes. Let's keep building that forward and let's see where that goes. I don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to maybe give him some squash matches here and there? We'll see. But I'm good with that. And that match with Josh is very, very, very interesting as to where that's going to go. So, again, leading to that next pay-per-view, that pay-per-view is going to be something to behold. So don't miss it. We know we won't. So There you go. So that's how we would book Jonah. Thank you for your input from the chat. That was awesome. Really appreciate that. If you want us to book any wrestlers going forward, let us know. We will take all of that. You can put it in the comments of our video tonight because, we like to see comments. You can do that. You can tell us right in the chat right now. You can send us a DM on Twitter if you're there. You can put it in Facebook, whatever. But if you want us to book a wrestler, if there's a wrestler you are a fan of and you want maybe thinking that they're being booked properly, let us know, and we will put that in our next book a wrestler on our
Joe,
show.
I got one in my DM.
Oh, okay.
And they want him to be booked today, but it's an old school wrestler.
Oh,
and he just happens to be my favorite wrestler of all time, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Booked in 2021/2022.
Well, that's interesting.
And isn't it? That's a very interesting stuff.
I can kind of tell you what I would do because it never was. I would make him a heel because he's one of the few. You rarely ever see someone, especially today, in their career that doesn't flip-flop, that doesn't go from face to heel. It's just a thing. Years ago, that didn't happen much or as much. And so Ricky was always the good guy. Always the good guy. So I wouldn't mind seeing him. He was always kind of, the Dragon was always kind of like that. Back then, he was kind of like what you're seeing with like video game characters like Mortal Kombat. He was the martial arts guy. That's who he was. And so, take that, but take it to a dark level. Take it to a darker side. You could even book this dude. Like if you really wanted to get crazy, you could take this to where you can almost do this as a supernatural kind of character. Take elements from like a thing like Mortal Kombat and kind of use that and almost I guess maybe what they're kind of doing with Xia Li right now on SmackDown, something along those lines. But I definitely would want to see what he would be like as a heel, because that would be a totally different take on him. And I don't know if you want to bring him in as oh, hey, it's Ricky Steamboat. We all know what this guy is. He's bring him in, but then just have him turn, and it would shock everybody. Like it's a complete shocker, like when Hogan turned. That, oh my God, this guy's a heel now. That's definitely how I would go with it to start off. From what I've heard, Throwback Throwdown was a comedy show. It was. Yeah, it absolutely was, Scott. Yep,
it was tremendous.
Jeff talked about it earlier. It definitely was. Killer Cross and Scarlet says, Chad. Somebody you want us to book. Enzo and Cass reunion. Oh, jeez. Johnny Gargano. Jonah versus Morrissey, Daniil and Caleb. Wow, okay. There's a lot of people in there. I'll tell you what. Put those in, because there's no way I'm going to go back and look at all that. Put them in the comments because I'm going to forget. I guarantee you I'll forget tomorrow when I wake up. Put them in the comments, please. Go ahead and comment tonight and put them in the comments, because then this way I can go back and I can read the comments. So please, those of you who are asking us to book people, put them in the comments for me. Then this way I can get a list together and I can send that over to Jeff. So please do that. We really appreciate it. The Rock, says Chad. Wow, you don't think The Rock was booked?
But how are you saying The Rock now? Yeah, the Bucks are looking like what happens after a baby eats certain food. That's what they look like. They're the ending product of what comes out after that. So that's what the Bucks are tonight. Are you saying, okay, in terms of The Rock, Chad, are you saying book him in today's industry? Or are you saying just rebook his run?
Yeah. Like, let us know if you're going to do a classic wrestler. Let us know. Like, Like, would you have wanted him booked differently back when he was wrestling, or you want to see if he was booked differently today, like if he was still young and still in, still in the, still involved in wrestling today? Let us know. Yeah, he's probably a little stressed there because of his team.
Yeah, they stink out loud tonight.
The Kiss Demon. Ooh, I'd have a good story for that one. That'd be a good one because I can go back into my Kistery, because we Kiss fans call history Kistery. That'd be a good one. I can do that. That'd be cool. Every time Joe just said, "Please, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover" by Paul Simon. Just slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. Don't need to be coy, Roy. And just listen to me. It's a great song. I booked AEW through 2030. Oh God, dude.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, hey, if you want to write a novel in the comments, go right ahead. Go right ahead, Scott. Go at it. Go at it. Are you guys doing the show next Sunday? Gus, no. We announced it earlier in the show that we will be skipping next Sunday because of the Christmas holiday. Because most people, a lot of people will be doing their family things and stuff like that. It's just the day after Christmas, so no, we're gonna skip next Sunday, but then we'll go back to the thing afterwards. Main event picture only. Jeff Book, Urban Meyer in AEW. Oh God.
Okay.
Now we're getting crazy. We're getting crazy. Anyway, thank you for all your comments.
His finisher would be the punt.
There you go. There you go.
If you know, you know.
Man. Yeah. Yes.
Oh God, I can't stand that guy. Oh, I can't stand Urban Meyer.
He made a mockery out of that team. Let me tell you.
What a twit.
Anyway, so there it is. Book a Wrestler. Thank you for all your comments. Please put them in the comments, like I said, and then I can collect them and I can send them along to Jeff, and then we'll have material for the next how many ever weeks that we can do this. So there you go. All right, awesome. Label it year by year. Label it however you want, Scott. Whatever is easier for you.
Yeah, we'll read it.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on. What do we got next? I believe it's Moments of the Week, I think.
Yeah, we've got Moments of the Week. So let me play the bumper for that real quick. Give me a chance to get things shifted over.
All right, there we go. So it is time for our top 3 moments of the week, and you guys can play right along in the chat as well, as you always do. What were your top moments of the week? Start yelling them out, and I will read some of them as we go along. So, Jeff, number 3 for you for this week.
Number 3 for me, I'm going to go to last night and say Throwback Throwdown. I enjoyed it. I needed the laughs. Yeah. I needed that. Some of the goofy names, the crazy gimmicks, just reminded you of how some of the gimmicks were back in the 80s. They were really that bad in some ways. So, but they were fun. So that was my number 3.
Okay. Oh man, let me think here. It was tough because I didn't get to see that last night. And I know that definitely would have made my list for sure. Man, oh man. I am going to go with, oh boy. This is tough. I know what the ones are, but I'm kind of struggling with where I want to put them. Yeah, so promo for Miz TV, and the way they ended that. Yeah, so little different, I guess. Maurice is back, obviously, with Miz. But they didn't use her kind of in the way that they thought they would. And, Miz kind of pulled her in front of him at look at Alicia. We're on the same wavelength. They didn't use her the way you kind of thought they would. Miz did the cowardly thing and pulled her in front of him. He's done that many, many times before, but she didn't just take it this time. She smacked him. and got mad and walked out of the ring. So yeah, that was a cool moment. You didn't really see that very often from her, so it's causing a rift already. And we didn't have he doesn't even have the match going on with Edge yet. So Maurice kind of, you heard her say, I have kids, so she's different now. So I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna make that my number 3. It was something very different that we didn't see very often. So something's going on there where Maurice isn't too happy. So that can't be too good for Miz going into that match with Edge. So that's good one. And Alicia voted for it as well. So I'll go with that as my number 3. Let's see what we got here. Derek, Doc Gallows liking my tweet while backstage live. That's cool. Jonah actually liked our insiders tweet too, Jeff. I didn't even probably get a chance to tell you, but yeah, we got a like from Jonah. So
awesome.
Yeah. And we got followed by Hernandez as well. So that's awesome too. Throwback, Throwdown 3, watching Jeff suffer tonight with the Bucks. That shouldn't be a favorite moment. That's horrible.
Listen, he's a Falcons fan, so I get it. Okay. I get it. I completely get it. Completely get it.
James is saying Danielson versus Hangman Page. James, I want to see your 2 and your 1. Number throwback from last night, says Chad. Marie slapping Miz, says James, was number 2. SmackDown's ending, Hangman versus Danielson, and Throwback Thursday, 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch breaking kayfabe by referencing her hot husband after totally shredding Liv. Bobby Lashley back to being a badass, and Brock Lesnar basically becoming fun. Hangman versus Danielson 2. Roman firing wise man Paul Heyman. All right. So, Jeff, what's your number 2?
My number 2. I'm gonna go to SmackDown and that ending that we got. I enjoyed that ending. Seeing what happened with Heyman and Roman and Brock. That's just magic, man. That's magic.
Yep.
So I'm really enjoying what they're doing. I'm all in on this storyline, by the way. I'm just all in.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my and your number 2 and number 1 are probably going to match up because my number 2 as well was the Paul Heyman thing with Roman and Brock. All of them are doing a fantastic job. Brock with his what he's doing just comes down and wrecks everybody. Just tosses the Usos around like rag dolls when they try to get in his way. And then the whole thing with what's going on. Roman giving him the hug, saying thank you for your service and stuff like that, but you're fired. And then the terror look on Paul Heyman's face. I mean, it was a great promo, and you knew it was coming, but I don't think you knew it was coming this soon. But of course, you saw the build up to it, and then the week before, when Paul got Brock looking like he was kind of doing his bidding again inside the ring and stuff like that. But it could be a double play as well. Maybe Brock's playing him a little bit too. You don't know. So let's see how it works out. But it's long-term storytelling and it's good stuff. So yeah, that definitely is my number 2. Our Instagram is, let's see. Well, we don't use it. Let's see. I don't use it very much. I think we posted probably less than 150 posts on Instagram, but it is just let me see. I think it's just insiders. It's insiders_pro_wrestling. That's all it is. So it's Insiders Pro Wrestling with 2 underscores in between. I don't like to see Jeff suffering, but I make an exception at the moment. I'm a Saints fan. I just wish he had a top-notch quarterback. Brady is due one big final quarter here. 6-0 is not a kind of an edge you want to hold there. Number 2 is Marie slapping her hubby. Can't wait for the Miz and Mrs. to come back to TV soon. Malachi Black's promo. Good call. Roman turning on Paul. All right, Jeff. Number 1. I think it's going to be pretty easy for both of us. Probably.
Yeah, I think our number 1s will be the same. Number 1 for me was that classic of a match that we saw on Wednesday night. Hangman and Bryan Danielson. Time limit draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 1 as well. I don't really think there would have been any bigger moment this week. for wrestling fans than that. And yeah, I would think that a lot of people I think are gonna probably say the same thing. But yeah, time limit draw. The match was fantastic with a budding star for AEW and a guy who's just a marvel of the sport at this point in his career in Bryan Danielson. So we've talked about it earlier, talked about it quite a bit. So yeah, number one moment for me too. It's not very often you're on the edge of your seat during a wrestling match. And kind of, like I said, I was going nuts when they turned off the picture-in-picture. And I'm like, I think I yelled at the TV, like the TV's going to answer me. But I was like, well, what are you doing? They turn the mic. Of course, I went on Twitter and I said, what are they doing? Just a fantastic match. And I think that's probably going to be a lot of number ones for the week too. All right. That's that. What the hell happened there? The Patriots are driving. The Saints just got it back.
Yeah, Brady just fumbled. He got hit from behind and fumbled the ball.
I think yours are losing players left and right too.
Yeah, Fournette is out now.
Oh man, dude, that's devastating. That's like devastating. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Scott, for following us. I'm guessing your username is Scott Steiner. All right, let's move on to. I think we're going to lighter side now. It's about that time.
Yeah, going to the lighter side of the ring.
Alrighty.
I had to, Joe. I had to.
No, it's cool, dude. It's all good. It's all good. Like I said, I'm excited to watch it, and just from the pictures and stuff that I've seen from it, I know I'm going to be laughing too. And I'm glad. From what I'm hearing from all you guys all loved it as well and had a good laugh from it too. And listen, like Jeff said, sometimes it's a needed thing. It's good to laugh. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's good. It's good for the soul. It really. How many times in your lives can you say that you've cracked up laughing to the point of where you can't stop? I've done it a bunch of times in my life, and you're actually tearing from laughing so hard. It's really good. A lot of people say crying is good, laughing is just as good. And sometimes when you're down and out, it does help you with things like that. So seeing that, and from what I'm hearing from you guys, yeah, I'm excited to watch it. So, and Jeff, go ahead. You can elaborate on it a little bit more.
I mean, again, I think I said this last night. The goal of any kind of entertainment is to keep you engaged and entertain you. And if it does that, if a show does that, or whatever you're watching does that, then it's done. It served its purpose. So Throwback Throwdown did that for me. I was not having a good week. Hasn't been a great weekend. And this helped. So it took my mind off of everything that was going on for a few hours, which I really enjoyed. So, and plus, I mean, the storylines, the crazy gimmicks, the nostalgia, all of that. Seeing Mike Jackson and Johnny Swinger as tag team partners going up against Chris Sabin and a partner who we started calling Urkel because he looked like Stefan Urkel from Family Matters, and the team's name was the Sunday Morning Express because they were news reporters. It was so much fun, man. It was so much fun. So
I'm excited to watch. I'm going to watch it right after we get off here and the football game's over. So, because I have nothing on the Sunday night, so I'm going to check it out right away afterwards. So I'll let you guys know. I'll post, of course, about it, but I'll let you guys know. I'm sure I'm going to really, really enjoy it too. I'm just an overseas fan from the UK, says Graham. Don't hate on me too much. I followed y'all on Instagram. No context, Papa Pump. Well, I knew it was something Scott Steiner. I had a funny feeling. Please watch True Story with Kevin Hart on Netflix. Absolutely amazing. Completely different from anything he's ever done. Mind-blowing. Kevin Hart, listen, I watched that whole thing that Jimmy Kimmel did with the different strokes and the facts of life. Seeing Kevin Hart playing Arnold on different strokes was hilarious. Seeing him give you the "what you talking about, Willis?" If you've ever watched Different Strokes, and then seeing him lift it up into the, oh my gosh, what was the actor's name who played Mr. Drummond now? Oh my God, famous actor too, and I totally forgot his name. Anyway, he jumped up into his arms. So here's a grown man jumping into another grown man's arms. Hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. Kevin Hart cracks me up. I think Vice should make a show titled Lighter Side of the Ring that focuses on best things that come from some of the darkest people in wrestling have done. Everybody's got a lighter side, I think.
Yeah.
I think they all do. They have stories to tell. I mean, one of the darkest characters in wrestling was The Undertaker, and the stories he tells about that group that he had and stuff. Oh my God, hilarious stuff. Plus, it was funny that Tazzy didn't recognize Al Snow. Oh yeah, Al Snow with head. OMG. Catherine Hahn absolutely nailed. Oh, John Lithgow, thank you. John Lithgow. Could you imagine John Lithgow holding Kevin Hart in his arms like he's holding a child? Oh, that's classic. If you guys didn't see that and you like nostalgia, watch it. It's funny. But yeah, so there you go. Again, something needed, something fun. Like Jeff said, if you guys didn't watch our 2 watch-alongs that we've done of Talkin' Shopomania, go back and watch them, because we did nothing but laugh like fools for the entire 2 hours that we were watching the show. But it was so much fun. It really was. It was so much fun. So, all right. I think we're at that time. I haven't seen Jessie.
Yeah,
I haven't seen her in the chat. So again, I don't know if she's around. I know she had family things going on, and she wasn't here. So Jessie, if you're out there and you're listening, you're up. You're good to go. If you're not able, that's perfectly fine. I get it. I know everybody's got stuff to do, but we are at the point in the show where normally Jessie would be on. So if you're around, it's your go in the next few minutes. Again, obviously, if you haven't been listening, it's totally fine. We totally understand you have other stuff to do, and that's perfectly cool as well. So you have to watch Saturday Morning All-Star Hits on Netflix. Oh yeah, I heard about it. I have heard about it. Kevin Hart as Arnold was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, it was wonderful. If you are new to the channel in the meantime, please make sure that you like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I did see a couple of new faces out there tonight. So if you're new to our channel and you're liking what you're seeing, please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit like on the video tonight. And don't forget to stick in those comments as well about who you want us to book. If you would please put them kindly in the list on the comments tonight, that would be awesome. It'd make it much easier for us to get a hold of. Again, this week, Calynn Corner number 1, Jesse Calynn. I think he just called Jessie a joke. I think he just did. I think that's what it was. I think he called her a joke. The number 1 thing was Jessie Calynn. I'm going to be in the episode of Dark Side of the Ring about Nick Gage, says Gus. You're going to be in it yourself? Wow. That's pretty awesome. How'd you manage to do that? That's cool. Well, so there you go. Well, we'll just tell you about what we got coming up again. We'll remind everybody in case you weren't here to listen. So Chad's saying, see, you're up next. You do the jokes. If anyone else has a joke or two you want to tell, you can throw it out there and we'll read it while we're talking about what's going on. There is our merch store. You can see it up there on the screen. Insiders-prowrestling.creator-spring.com. That's where the t-shirts and stuff are. Go check them out. You can see the Abby one there. You can see the Insiders one there. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there, including the one that I love with the pop vinyl, Jeff and myself on it with the shenanigans. That's the greatest one on there. So if you buy anything, like I said, let us know. Send a picture. We'd love to throw it up on the screen during Calynn Corner number 2. Still Jesse Calynn. Have a great weekend holiday, everyone. You too, Chris. Have an awesome week, and make sure you celebrate it with your loved ones and enjoy it. So coming up. Obviously, tomorrow, you heard Abby herself. Jody was in the chat, and she said they will be doing Abby's tomorrow. So make sure you're here at 6 o'clock p.m. for Abby's window. Jeff and Jody will probably talk a little bit about the news that there was, that C Wrestling put in his video about Bray Wyatt possibly maybe returning to the WWE. Maybe after all this, maybe life is a circle, and maybe he will end up back where everybody kind of thought he was supposed to be in the first place. Maybe they realized their mistake and they're going to try to bring him back. So that would be cool, because of course he could continue with the same gimmick, and we'd all get to see the Fiend again, which, hey, nobody's going to complain about that. So make sure you join those guys tomorrow at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Abby's Window. Obviously, nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday, Thursday. We will be back, as you can see on there, Impact Wrestling. Yes, it is a best of show this week, so no new matches or material. They'll be going over some best of show and matches and stuff that you may have not seen during the year, if you may have missed any of it. And then they'll probably giving some Wrestlers of the Year awards out and stuff like that, like they did last year. So, but we will still do the watch along at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, you see up there after the Impact, we won't do that this week because there really won't be anything to discuss. Also, during the chat with that, with the best of show, we can talk about really anything. We really don't mind. Yeah, I mean, when you don't necessarily have to keep it on the Impact stuff, we kind of watched a lot of it already again. But we will be there for that. No, after the Impact. And then obviously next Sunday, we will be off next Sunday because it's the holiday weekend and stuff like that. And everybody will be out spending it with family and so on and so forth. It's kind of a longer weekend. So we will be off next Sunday as well. And then we'll be back for a big January. I mean, it won't be long. What is it? Oh, yeah. Man, it's so close. The first day one is only, oh my gosh,
couple weeks.
It's not even a couple. It's really, yeah. What was it? 1 week and like 6 days. Yeah. So, wow, that's coming up quick. So day one is right around the corner. And then so is the Impact pay-per-view, and so is the Zicky Dice thing. I think that's on the 15th. So lots and lots of stuff coming. And then the Royal Rumble. January is loaded. So we will be there for all of that. So, so it looks like Jesse's not here. Calynn's Corner should be sponsored by KFC because Jesse is chicken. Oh! See dressed like the Macho Man during his Cream of the Crop promo. I'm going to watch it. I might watch it, says Gus. Another great review show, as always. Some great topics raised, as well as some fun segments. Thank you, Graham. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going to get out of here, and I'll let Jeff go and watch his team for the rest of the night so you can find out whether...
I don't know that I want to do that. But...
Well, we'll see. Can Brady pull off a miracle in the end? Maybe. You never know. Thanks, guys, for coming out. Really, really appreciate that. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. If we don't see you for the Impact show, hopefully we will, or on Abby's tomorrow night. But in any case, have a great and happy holiday and a joyous holiday, great Christmas, whatever it is that you celebrate. And hopefully we will see you all again for our next show. Be kind to one another, especially this time of year. Stay safe, and hopefully we will see you all again tomorrow night for Abby's Window at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and hopefully we will see you all soon. Good night, guys.